Hey guys, this is Joe at Drone Productions. I'm going to tell you something right now. I have a wonderful build for you. This is the Dynam Black Widow P-61. I'll tell you what, this is an absolute complete build video for you. I did everything I can to sit there and show you, and more details and everything. So I hope you enjoy it and watch it, because this is part 2. Because nobody else shows a build like this. All right? Nobody. Not even Dynam. Nobody. Not their affiliates. Anybody. This is one of the best builds that you're going to ever see of this bird. Okay? Now I'm going to shorten it up a bit, because there's a little bit more into it than you want to sit there and have to watch. So I'm going to do one side, and you'll see the other side. Okay? So I already put on the wing on the other side of this plane. Okay? So I just want to start here. I put the rod all the way down. You see the rod right here? And I put it through and attach the other side of the wing. All you want to do now is take your other side of the wing, and you're going to line it up with that hole there. Here's your connector for your ailerons and control surfaces. And I'm going to put that into the hole, and I'm going to slide that down. Now, the connector down here only kind of goes one way. So I am going to connect it in. Make sure black is on black and everything is the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so that's in there. Now I'm going to push the wing in a little bit and make sure the connector goes into this slot here in the engine nacelle part of the wing. And it gets in there nice, just like that. Real simple. I'm going to take 2 of these screws that are in the bag you got here, and you got to connect the one part in the front and the other one in the back. Okay, and you want to make sure that they line up. So you got to push that in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it with my stomach, push it in, and making sure that this screw goes down, tightens up, starts tightening. And then I'm going to try the second one, make sure I can hold that in that way, and it tightens down. Okay? Okay, so that's going in right there. And tighten that, yeah, you see it starts crushing there. And then you want to come over to this side, bring it in. You know you got good contact. When I say crushing, the crushing of the foam, the impact of the screw. So, as you see, I got both sides on here and over here, and they're looking good. The next thing here, guys, is we have to talk about the tail, all right? We have 2 plugs in this side, rudder, elevator, and rudder. What I highly recommend is you're going to have to cut part of this off right here, this foam around this control surface. This is for the rudder, in order to fit down in there, because it's too long. It's way too long, so I had to cut it down a bit and test fit it. And now it fits good. So what I'm going to do also, I'm going to highly recommend, is on all the glue surfaces, try to remove as much of the black paint off there. And I did that with some ribbon tape, and I put it in there and just tore it off on each of those where the glue is going to make contact on the rudders, the elevator, and of course over here. I'm going to take some China glue. I have tons of this from many of my models. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put some glue in there, into that area there. I am then going to put some more onto the other rudder nacelle. You don't have to put it on one side. You don't have to put it on both sides, okay? it will fit just nice. All right, so I'm gonna let that set a second. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to put the rudder into that slot there and hold it in there for a few seconds and then pull it away. And this is gonna activate the glue, okay? And I'm gonna hold it there for maybe about 30, 40 seconds or so. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in there, let the air activate that, and it did. Okay, so I'm just gonna push that down into that area there. And then to the other side, I am going to do the same thing. Make sure they're good. And then we're gonna let them dry and set for about an hour. So next is, now we got this all set up, the booms and the elevator. We're going to install them in here, into this area right there, and do the plug-ins and everything. Get some glue, and I'm going to put some inside of each of the nacelles right there around, and then some on this area right here and there and there, and slot it in there. Okay, I got all the surfaces glued on the booms for the rudder and the elevator here. You want, make sure, please do make sure that when you plug these in, orange is on orange and brown's on brown on all of the surfaces, okay? Make sure that's orange on orange and orange on orange and brown is brown for rudder, elevator, and rudder before you plug it in. Because if you don't, and you plug this in and it dries, then you're kind of screwed in a way and you have to cut and do everything whatsoever. So what I'm gonna do, I'm pushing these servo plugs into that hole. I got it all covered and I'm gonna push it in. Now, okay, this is crucial, crucial. Get it in there, this one in there, push it down, get it in there, and that's closed in as much as you can. And over here, and it is getting solid there, okay? And that's what you want. It's nice around there. Let's get to the other side. Like I said, this is not your typical easy, small, everyday build like a Horizon Hobby or anything whatsoever. You have to make sure you know what you're doing. I usually let this set up before I move on to the next step for about an hour. And you don't want this crooked, you want it straight, okay? So as long as the part right here, I'll hold it up, this part right there is nice together. That means it's straight. And it's looking good. Now, if any of you guys ever watched the Petraeus brothers from Slovenia, I believe that's where they're from, you know, they had a real hard time with this also. I'm going to fill this in, and I'm probably going to use some epoxy and mix in a little flat black and everything whatsoever to give it a little bit better fit, as you see right there. Okay, but it is good. It's satisfactory. It works, okay? And don't worry about that because it's all set up right. With that said, I'm going to push the plane aside and we're going to work on some other stuff here. And we're going to do a little assembly of the canopy here. We got these two pilots, this one and this guy right here. What I had to do is trim down this pilot a bit right there. So when I put the canopy on right here, he doesn't hit the top. Okay, so I had to trim that down. So all you have to do basically is glue them in right there. And put some glue around the edges of the canopy itself and glue on this piece right there. And the smaller one is going to go back here, which I had to trim down when I put on the canopy cover. Where to put the instrument panel. It's silly. but actually it just goes right along right here, okay? And those pilots look pretty facing forward. All right, what do you think? Okay, yeah, good. Okay, we have it all glued stuff around the edges and everything. And then we're going to take the canopy itself. Just be careful and position it on. Just don't get any glue on the canopy itself, or where you know, the clear part. Just push it down. Make sure that the surfaces are all getting contacted. Okay, so what do you have to put on this canopy on the back right there? So I'm just going to put on the canopy, drop it down there on the sides. Make sure I don't have any glue on my fingers. And we're going to let that set up. That'll take about an hour to set up. I'm going to show you what I did on the final part of the build. So we got the canopy all on there, okay? What I did was, this is the cover for over here. And what I wanted to do is make sure I painted the bottom flat black that matches the sides and everything. Because you're going to pull this off now and then. That goes on this area right there. And it will go down a lot smoother. But I did paint flat black around the edges. Because when I put this on here, I seen a lot of white, okay, around there. And I see a lot of white right there. Now I'm probably going to take the wing off and paint black down there on both sides, okay? And you see right there, there's some white right there and there. You're just going to have to paint some stuff in that area there, because this is a Black Widow and it should be black. We have to put the guns on this fighter, okay? And they're going to go in this area right there. Inside to the front, and you just push them down there. Now you could lever them up whichever way you want. I want mine kind of right about that way, okay? Go into the bottom and drop a little cement China glue down there, down there, and down there, and down there, okay? And I cut this out. You have to, because the receiver goes up here, and it's going to mount right over here into this area right here. I'm going to probably be using a Spectrum AR630 receiver, and I'm going to mount it right about there and plug all the surface cords and everything whatsoever into surface connectors into the appropriate slots. Okay, so but before I do that, that's in the next step. That's in part 3 of the video, and this is the build, because this is a very detailed build, and I put a lot of work into this to get this to be set up, because nobody else does this. In closing of the build video, as much detail as I possibly can, I want to give you a final overview. Of course, there was the canopy and the cover, obviously, where the receiver is going to go with the gun turret and everything. Everything is looking beautiful. And in the final step of this video series for the P-61 Black Widow by Dynam, we are going to show you how to set up the receiver and transmitter. Okay? And you see everything looks good. Now there will be, like I said, I'm going to do some touch up, because in the servos and stuff, or in the flaps and everywhere, you know, there's some white, and I want to get that. And I probably, like I said, I'm going to take the wing off there and paint that stuff so it's black. All right. And in the final video, after we do that, I will show you where I put the decals. Now there's no diagram where the decals go. So I'm kind of going to be going off a box as much as I can, and some videos online, and see where they actually have them, because they don't show them. And of course we're going to put the props on and everything, but we're not going to put them on now. and then we'll put our bombs and our drop tanks and everything whatsoever, you know, into it, fuel tanks, and we'll go from there. So this is Joe at Drone Man Joe RC. This is part 2 of the build. Part 3 will be radio transmitter and receiver setup, and some extra final overviews and everything, like I said, and we will go from there. So we will see you next time, and enjoy this video. Please give a like and a subscribe, and any questions, please ask. I'll do the best I can to answer them, all right? Salute. This is Joe at Drone Man RC, out.